Hello, everybody. Welcome to the human side of wellness with Robin O'Grady. That's me. Today, our story is from Gerry. This is our third episode of this series, and I'm so excited to share this one with you. Just a reminder of why we're here. This series is built to show you, to showcase that wellness looks different for everybody. And it can look different for you too. And so today is your permission to just tune out all of that external noise, all of those external pressures, and to really just come to a wellness story that is yours and only belongs to you and is right for you. All I want you to think about is mind, body, and soul. If we can make sure all of those buckets are being filled every single day, then we will have holistic health. Okay? I want to also just a quick note that I'm not a therapist and this isn't medical advice. This is just a human conversation about what well-being could look like in real life. Sounds good? Reminder that I am reading these stories for these wonderful humans. And so if you see my eyes sort of popping back and forth, that's all that's happening there. From Gerry, my fitness journey. Well, back in the day, people weren't really into fitness. But there were those small pockets of people who did follow some sort of fitness routine, typically former athletes who knew the health value of staying fit. As a child, I took dance lessons. For a time when I was 7, we got skis and a ski pass, and that became the winter activity for the next 10 years. I was lucky to grow up in Calgary, and my aunt lived in Banff, so we spent every winter weekend in Banff at her place and skied Saturday and Sunday. Sounds wonderful. My summers were spent at our Sylvan Lake cabin, so swimming every day and rowing our boat. Those active years were great, and I was extremely lucky to have those opportunities, which I just accepted as a part of life. I guess my real fitness journey begins after high school, where I was active as a cheerleader and a field hockey player. But after graduation in 1977, working in a corporate setting and then attending university, I definitely had the freshman 15 or more. It wasn't as easy to stay active, and you had to find a sport or activity to join. No gyms on every corner. Weight Watchers was the way to control weight, and that's what I followed. Diet that more than activity. Diet more than activity. Then in 1982, I saw this place called Heaven's Fitness on 14th Street Northwest. That still exists, everybody. It's called the Academy now. I passed it almost every day, and I would comment to my fiance that it looked like a really cool place. So for Christmas that year, he gave me a 6-month membership. Helen Vanderberg was the co-owner, and they offered a variety of aerobics classes because that was the thing at the time. I loved it. And just so you all know, Helen is also still around and in the industry and very powerfully known in our industry. She's wonderful. When my 6-month membership was up, I bought a year membership and attended classes at least 4 times a week. That was back in the day of dance leotards, tights, headbands, and leg warmers. I want some pictures, Gerry. Send me some pictures. Jane Fonda had nothing on Helen and her team of instructors. Then came marriage and a move from urban life in the big city to small town Alberta. There were no gym, there was no gym, and the indoor pool was just being finished, and that was it for fitness. I started a family, and of course, with kids arriving, there was no extra time or cash for fitness. Mortgage interest rates were 13%. Yikes. I had a group of mom friends, and we would walk our kids to the park for playtime and visit, but no real activity for us. The pool offered water aerobics, so I joined that for a while, but it was tough to get babysitters. Enter Weight Watchers once again, back to diet to manage weight. When my oldest son got his bike and became an independent rider, my husband and I got bikes as well. And I had a bike trailer to pull my younger 2 boys in. That was our exercise activity, biking with the kids, and it was a workout. We lived at the bottom of a hill, so to go anywhere, it was an uphill ride to get there. I rode my bike a lot and used the trailer to haul the kids and the groceries. We ventured into rollerblades, and as the boys got older, but I was never comfortable on them and preferred to bike while they bladed. I did that too, Jerry. I had a rollerblade phase. It wasn't ever really my favorite. Our little town had a small ski hill run mainly by volunteers, and one of my best friends was a ski instructor there, and she suggested I should look into it for the upcoming ski season. 1996, we've moved on. I hadn't been on skis in a long time, but she and I took a ski trip to Jasper, and she coached me on what the instructor course would be looking for. Lots of bad habits I would need to correct. I registered for the Canadian Ski Instructors Association Level 1 course to be held at Rabbit Hill in Edmonton. I spent a weekend there learning new ski skills, that's a tough one, and how to teach those skills to others. I passed the course and then spent that winter teaching at our local ski hill. Then another move north to a smaller town and acreage living on a gravel road. It was summer, so we spent the time at a nearby lake. We bought a power boat and learned to water ski. In the fall, I saw an ad for a local ski hill looking for instructors. I applied and was hired on the spot. For the next 4 years, I spent every winter day teaching at Cold Lake Ski Hill, Kenosu Ridge Resort. Cold Lake Ski Hill, Kenosu Ridge Resort. I taught school groups of all ages and I loved it. It also allowed me to get my boys into lessons and try out equipment, the new thing being snowboarding. The summer days were spent with the boat at Crane Lake, playing in the water with my sons and their friends. The summer of 2000 saw us move again to a more central location in the province, not close enough to the mountains to justify traveling to teach at a ski hill. So that part of my fitness career sadly ended, but we were able to get active with skiing as a family when the boys weren't playing hockey. The town had a new indoor pool, and the boys spent lots of time there with their friends, but I never got into the routine of going. I was working at the school as an educational assistant, and both my husband and I were on the hockey board, which took up lots of time. As a fellow board parent, I completely understand that too. As the boys got older, summer jobs took on importance, and the opportunity to get away to Sylvan Lake property didn't happen as often. My fitness routine just slipped into everyday survival mode of mom with 3 active teenagers. Oh my gosh, I know so many people that can relate to this. So many people. I was curling once a week with the ladies group, but that was my only active activity. In 2004, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer and underwent several surgeries, a mastectomy, and reconstruction to deal with it. Fortunately, no radiation or chemotherapy was required. I spent a lot of time doing simple yoga from videos and listening to meditations to heal my mind and body. I don't give in easily, and this was a real slap in the face. 2007 saw my husband and I walk in the weekend to end breast cancer, 60 kilometers over 2 days. I trained on our treadmill in the winter, and then through the spring, we walked outside in our rural area. We did that walk 3 years in a row. And even though I trained and had great shoes, I got vicious blisters each time. The third time, I got smart and had the first aid ladies deal with the blister issue as soon as I felt it coming on. Moleskin and duct tape were my best friends. By 2010, I wasn't working at the school anymore, and I saw a burlesque size performance in Calgary. It caught my attention, and I decided to look into that more. Turns out they were having Monday morning classes in Calgary at a north location I could easily get to, and that was my start with dance again. I drove to Calgary for classes for 10 years, and it was amazing. Great instructors, body confidence building, and great friends. In 2013, our local pool gym started a new program, TRX classes. Love TRX. Our friend had signed up and after barely surviving the first session, she decided it was a good thing to encourage me to register for the next spring session once curling was over. They were also offering spin indoor cycling classes, and so I signed up for back-to-back classes in the morning 3 times a week. Spin, then TRX. It was a workout. Whew, I can imagine. And that's where my real fitness journey began. It's almost like, Gerry, it's almost like we're reading the evolution of group fitness in whole from the 70s to now. We had a great group of committed ladies, and we were all friends, so it made going to class fun, and you felt accountable. I love accountability, which is a big motivator for me. Over time, instructors came and went, and we had no qualified instructor, but we still went to class, and another lady and myself would take turns leading. In 2017, one of the newer gals decided to take the AFLCA cycle instructor certification. AFLCA is the Alberta certification body, for those of you that don't know. They are now called Fitness Alberta. And then she taught our spin classes for a while, but when she moved to BC, I figured, what the heck? If she can do it, so can I. Yes. And in 2018, at the ripe old age, come on now, of 59, I registered for the AFLCA program and started my fitness instructor career. I took the group fitness training, indoor cycle, and portable equipment courses through AFLCA and became a certified instructor at our local gym. I was teaching spin classes 3 mornings a week, followed by a TRX class, and then 2 evening spin classes. I took my TRX training and became qualified in that as well. Then COVID came along and closed all of our facilities. When we were able to reopen, the new spacing restrictions made it very difficult to have spin classes as our teaching area was small and now had some of the bigger gym machines moved into it. I managed to use another space in the same facility for a while, but the next round of lockdowns ended that as well. My group of ladies wanted to stay active, so we turned ourselves into an outdoor walking group. As long as temperature was not below minus 25, totally fair, we would meet 3 mornings a week and walk. Fortunately, our town has some great walking trails and challenging hills, so we would change up our route each week. I love this. Change is inevitable, and COVID definitely changed things. Once things opened again fully, there was no longer room in the gym area for spin classes, and the board of directors at the time decided to sell the bikes. Boo! End of the spin era. Time to reinvent myself. While COVID had locked things down, I took advantage of the opportunity to do some virtual training courses and became certified in Pound Fit and Tabata GX instructor. That means group instructor, for those of you wondering, group exercise instructor. My group of ladies still wanted to be active, so I found another location to rent space and we held our TRX class there once a week. And then I added Pound, which is done with drumsticks. It's like choreography. It's really fun, everybody, if you have one in your area. And Tabata on Mondays and Fridays. Things have morphed over the past few years. Ladies have come and gone, but I still have a small group of dedicated exercisers. We are all seniors, so I have concentrated my focus on functional fitness, very important, to keep us all mobile and able to maintain the everyday movements we need. It is social time as well, and we know that social connections are vital for good mental health. So we have some good conversations and lots of laughs. Looking back, I see that my fitness journey has been a circuitous route with lots of ups and downs, turns and twists, but somehow I have always come back to some form of movement. This is such a good story, Gerry. I love this story in so many ways because it really shows your dedication to your own personal health and how important it is to you that your body is feeling its strongest, its healthiest. And that's so powerful to see someone sort of tackle the obstacles in such an assertive way. It's really empowering. And I know there's lots of people out there who can relate to a lot of those falls that happened to you. And I know that they are now feeling inspired to just get back up and try something different, refocus, reshift, reinvent, as you said. What I'd like to underline for all of you out there is that stuff happens, like things get in the way, life gets in the way. This is not unusual. It's pretty common. What is unusual about Gerry's story is that every time she had something that tumbled her down, she just got back up. And that's the key. That's where the true resilience lies. It's not in the falls, it's in the ability to say, okay, that happened. What next? And to do something about it. And that's what she did throughout the whole of this story. So take some time this week to reflect and think about, times when maybe you could have or should have gotten up, But more importantly, knowing that going forward, you have this information that this is possible. And so if you're in a bit of a down right now, take a breath, have a moment, get up, and try something different. You don't have to go back to the same thing. If the thing that you lost is not there anymore, it's okay. Time to move on to something else. So, great story. I love this one so much. And I know that people are going to be inspired. So please, in the comments below, share your love with Gerry and tell us a little bit about your story and how you can relate. Have a great week, everybody. You're amazing. Bye.